Hello everybody, this is Mannasha. Today I will try to give you a very short summary of the article Kebra Nagast of Ethiopia. According to this article, there were two people, King Solomon of Jerusalem and Queen Sheba of Ethiopia. King Solomon had wisdom, glory, and money. By the time he met one of Queen Sheba's merchant, Tamrin, King Solomon was about to build a church for his god. So he was buying every expensive goods from merchants around the world. Tamrin was one of the merchants who came to Solomon to sell his goods. Tamrin was also very impressed by Solomon's wisdom and the way he gave justice to his people. Finally, when he went back to his queen, Tamrin started to tell Queen Sheba how Solomon ruled his country, how wise he was, and how amazing his glory was. Queen Sheba was very impressed by what she heard about King Solomon, so she decided to witness his wisdom by herself and went to Jerusalem. She found Solomon's wisdom and hospitality more than she expected. She also learned to worship the mighty God of Jerusalem rather than the one who she used to believe in. King Solomon not only fell in love with the beautiful, rich, and powerful queen of Ethiopia, but also wished to have a child with her, so he tricked her to spend one night with him. When she returned to Ethiopia, she had Solomon's son, or her successor, Menelik. She raised Menelik by herself. Even she didn't tell who his father was until he was 18. By the time he reached 18 age, she told Menelik who his father was and let him go to visit his father. Menelik went to Jerusalem and visited his father and learned some glory from his father and returned to Ethiopia to be the founder of Solomonic dynasty of Ethiopia. Now I will address the questions which have been asked. The first question will be, which moments, scenes, ideas it's in this work contributed to your understanding of the culture, values, and society in which it was produced? In what ways? Be specific, it says. My answer will be the thing that when the merchant went to Solomon and bowed low and asked him if he could depart to his country. This scene made me to understand two things. The first will be the culture of Jewish people. In Jewish culture, any guest who was hosted by the king must appreciate and ask the king's permission before he or she departs to her country. The second will be about Ethiopian people, how polite, humble, and loyal they were. Because Tamrin could have just said thank you and let the king know he was leaving instead of bowing and wishing the king's peace. But Tamrin was polite enough to respect the king. And if it was not his loyalty, Tamrin could stay with the king or with Solomon rather than going back to his country, because Solomon was more powerful, wise, and had wisdom than Queen Sheba. The second question would be, which moments, scenes, ideas is in this work contributed to your understanding of your own culture and the values of your society? In what ways? The scene which made me to understand my culture is when King Solomon paid his guest Queen Sheba a great honor and give her a house in the chamber and send her food for herself and her servants. Because my people are known for their hospitality, great service, and loving smile and a great service to their guests, but I never understand why they were serving their guests with special foods, clothes, beds, and even they wash their guests' feet, but I never understand until I read this text. This text also made me to stick to my culture and be proud of my culture. The second question would be, the third question would be, would you recommend this text to others? Yes, I definitely recommend this text to others because it tells us, it tells us a great story of two countries and their rulers before 3,000 years ago. Can you imagine what some countries look like before 3,000 years ago? But those two rulers, or the king and the queen, were living around different nations, but they have a common thing, which is their wisdom. It also helps us to understand other people's culture. We can understand how people live, how people interact, and how people travel. The third point, which this article help us to understand what wisdom is and how we used it, how we use this wisdom and how we can gain wisdom. A great text. Thank you. This is all I have for today. Thank you for watching.